Chapter 10, Segment 1. Chapter 10 begins talking about vision and how the eye functions. The first section being the vertebrate eye acts in some way like a camera. Light travels in a straight line until it encounters a change in density of medium, which causes light rays to bend. This bending of light is called refraction. The next section being visual processing begins in the retina. The receptor cells that detect light are called photoreceptors. There are two kinds of photoreceptors, some called rods because they are relatively long, narrow forms, and then others are called cones. Horizontal cells and amacrine cells are especially significant in lateral interactions with the retina. The rods, cones, bipolar cells, and horizontal cells generate only graded local potentials. And then two different functional systems arise from the two different populations of receptors in the retina. One system being the rods and cones work to dim light, so it is the scotopic system. And then the other system requires more light in some species, which shows differential sensitivity to wavelengths, enabling color vision. This system uses cones and is called phototropic system. And then the next section in Chapter 10, Segment 1, is photoreceptors transduce light into chemical reactions. Only a fraction of light that passes through the cornea actually reaches the retina. The stacking of disc increases the likelihood that one will capture those light particles called photons. The photons will strike the disc and are captured by special photopigment receptor molecules in the rods. This pigment is rhodopsin. When rhodopsin is hit by light, retinol dissociates rapidly from the opsin molecule to reveal an enzymatic site. The cascade of processes required to stimulate the visual receptor helps account for three characteristics in the visual system. The first being its sensitivity to weak stimuli are amplified to produce psychological effects. The second characteristic being the interaction of stimulus over time, which makes vision relatively slow. And then lastly, the adaptation of visual system to a wide range of light intensities. And then the second to last section in Chapter 10, Segment 1, being different mechanisms enable the eyes to work over a wide range of light intensities. One way the visual system deals with large rays of intensity is by adjusting the size of the pupil. Another mechanism for dealing with the different light intensities is range refraction, the handling of different intensities by different receptors, some with low thresholds and others with high thresholds. And then two main factors that account for the adaptation of photoreceptors is the varying concern of the concentration of calcium, and the second being when photoreceptor pigments are split by light, it contains two components, retinol and opsin. And the last section being acuity is best in full favorable vision. The central region, called the fovea, has a dense concentration of cones. The high concentration of cones in the fovea provides high visual acuity in the region. And then quick movements of the eyes, called saccades, bring various parts of visual scenes to the fovea to take advantage of the sharp visual acuity there. Thank you. This concludes Chapter 10, Segment 1.